there are intrigues. Typically, those companies which are starting doing those innovations, they face problems, some sort of problem. And yes, some problems are like not that itchy, so they can live with that. And typically, we try to avoid to investing in such solution because we understand like it will be really hard to sell to this type of client. And some of problems are like really alerting as a yeah, like you from the first principle you understand like they either do this or they are out of business in a couple of years.
People change behavior due to outside system shocks. That's the time for innovation. So what are some of those system shocks or those stressors that you're seeing right now that you think form the backbone of an investment thesis?
So the first driver is just decreasing margin.
Yep.
So if you like, and there are industries where
Getting out competed, basically out automated.
Yeah,
People are
yeah.
taking away your value.
The other thing is, for example, I've looked into some solutions for CNC shops. So what's happening is, yes, you can do business as usual, sending those, you need to print to do something on with a 3D printer, for example. And yes, you can send like it the old way, like via email, etc. But your competitors start to do it with tech, and instead of like several days of getting the quote or just understanding if you can print it or not, your competitors do it in hours, and you just lose the just lose the clients. And this is how it typically happens. Or it could like be some regulations which is which is pushing the businesses to do something. And of course, if you look, for example, at the list of 20 industries which YC flagged as Y Combinator flagged as like top priority, they would like to invest. One of them is bringing back production to the United States again. And like obviously, those production was moved decades ago out of the US because of cost savings, and now there is the need of bringing it back, and you need to significantly improve the efficiency. Like you need to use robots, automation, etc. And this is like the regulatory barrier and the reality we live in, and this is what's pushing those industries. And yeah, that's just the last thing. Uh, I've also seen like some shocks like COVID shock. For example, I looked into a few startups in the milk production industry.
Mm-hmm.
So what they faced, not the startups, but the industry during the COVID, they couldn't deliver milk on time. So they just need to like to throw it out. And this is what pushed those businesses to change. And the last thing, very unusual thing actually, is actually the new generation of people working for those companies. For example, in those milk business, typically it's like family business, and like fathers and mothers are retiring or like plan to retire soon, and the kids like age of 30, 35, they grew up with new technology. They've seen those technologies in their other stages of in other like places in their life, and so they said, "Dad, let's install at least CRM. Dad, let's use this field service management." And they say like at some point they say, "Okay, son, let's do that. Like you go find the solution, and we can apply it." So this driver of new generation of people, both the owners and also the people they are hiring, like those younger professionals, they're slightly pushing this. And
Well, it makes sense, right? Because they know what's possible, and the second you know what's possible and you're confident, and you're like, oh, this should be easy or this should be possible, you want to you want to bring it into your life. It's a driver of dissatisfaction. But as an investor, you've got kind of a hard problem, right? Like you can't just get wrapped up in the solution. You can't just get wrapped up in the magic of what can be possible. You have to kind of be very pragmatic, and you have to say, what evidence do you as a founder, an early stage founder, have that people are going to adopt this? How do you ask founders in these, I'm going to say, quote unquote, boring industries? How do you ask them for evidence that the industry and their customers are willing to change? What do you look for?
So, so first of all, you look into like what's happening in the sector, and probably talking to a few people in the industry. So it's not like okay, today we're investing in solutions for cows. Tomorrow we're investing in solutions for construction. So you kind of spend some time looking at various solutions around some topic. For example, I looked probably in 20 various types of problems, business models in the construction sector. So for a while, when you spend some time like looking into various opportunities, talking to experts, looking into some startups, and investing in some in your portfolio, you kind of get some feeling of what is the sector about. And then you also look into the current traction of the company, and say yes, if they have paying clients, if they have you can sometimes talk to their potential clients, so kind of validate that there is a strong need
Yeah.
for something. And of course, it's not we're not 100% sure here, but the good thing is that not that many VCs actually focus on those vertical SaaS solutions we're looking into. So we're spending a lot of time like looking at very unsexy things, and many VCs on the market are generalists, and they say, okay, is it growing to 15 to 20% month over month? Like then we're betting on it. Yeah, we're investing a little bit more early. We're looking at some specifics in those vertical solutions, and yeah, so if you spend day and night looking at this, yeah, kind of
You can find
have
the
some
signal. But
the signal and gut feeling. Yeah.
it's funny. Like, one of the questions I always have for founders in this space is, have you, it's not just the, have you found the advocates within your customers, right? But have you found the innovators? Have you found the people who like have big ideas, are trying to drive change, but are failing, right? Because those in my mind are the folks that actually need access to startups. They need access to the ideas that startups can bring. Um, and these people are in a hard position, right? The person in that mid-market logistics company or in that milk production or distribution house, right? They're in a tough position because they've got a job to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
They know what's been working. They might know what's possible, but they don't actually know how risky it's going to be to engage
Yeah,
with
and
startups.
actually, this is true for any industry, right? So you always have like 5 to 15% of people who are more open to starting innovating for whatever reason. Just those 2 to 5%, those are just curious. As I
Yeah.
said, like son saying to dad,
Curious
like
risk
let's
takers.
yeah. Then there are quite a few people who would like, for various reasons, to get promotion, to get to show like what they've done, something specific, for example, innovative, etc. Or they just see, for example, that this is the future where the market is going. They see this, and if they start doing this in on their current occupation, in a few years they believe that they could succeed on their current job, and in a few years it will benefit them for their personal reasons. I don't know, could become a CEO, they could get to a job in a better company, and as I said, like there are intrigues. Though typically those companies which are starting doing those innovations, they face problems, some sort of problem.
Yep.
And yes, some problems are like not that itchy, so they can live with that. And typically, we try to avoid to invest in such solution because we understand like it will be really hard to sell to to this type of client. And some problems are like really alerting as a yeah, like from the first principle you understand like they either do this or they are out of business in a couple of years.